Welcome to our podcast. We are that couple you see on YouTube blogging about theme parks, food reviews, and couple retreats.
But this podcast isn't going to be about this. Instead, we are going to be peeling the curtain back into our personal lives. For about 10 to 15 years, we have struggled with infertility. And a wild roller coaster ride it has been for us, leading up to building a family through adoption.
We are not experts, but we want to openly share our journey with you all.
The struggle of health issues and infertility affect both members of the married couple.
If this is you or if you know someone that might need some encouragement,
give us a listen and share as we discuss our story of prayer, love, and family.
All right, so 3 years of marriage, and still we are motivated to become a family, have a big family, and we moved south to start a new season, still unknown of what lies ahead. So we're going to be covering from 2013 to 2015 today. Now, again, if you're a first-time listener to this podcast, if you want to know our journey, our story, you definitely have to start early on. Thankfully, we're only on episode 3, but our main objective is to basically not only share our personal story and struggle, but that's not even our main purpose. Our main purpose is basically to be that voice out there to help educate and help provide, right?
Right, yeah. Our biggest thing is if we're able to help, obviously we'd love to help more than one couple out there, but if we're able to help one couple I would love everybody to get answers as to what's going on with their bodies and why they struggle with infertility. But I guess if we are just able to be a glimpse of hope.
Oh, there you go. A glimpse of hope. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
For a couple out there and many more that you know that you're not alone.
Yeah.
And that you know that there's others out there that you can reach out to and ask questions and maybe help guide you on where to go or what kind of questions to go into your doctor with.
Gotcha.
That is what.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. If we can reach that one, and it's not like we're on a mission. No, we're doing this out of our spiritual hearts.
Right.
That's the thing. We're doing this out of our spiritual hearts. And we didn't get this. We didn't have this. It's something that we've learned over the years.
Yeah.
And it's something that we wish we had.
Yes, it is.
We wish we did. As we said in the last episode, sign up for groups, not group therapy, but just, small groups. Just like, people at churches know what small groups are, but just in regards to
others that we could lean on and talk to during all of this because we didn't have that and it felt very alone.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's not I know, I'm trying to think of the words. It's not something to basically have your ego hurt. It's not something that basically you are, a total letdown out of the entire.
Yeah, it's not a complete letdown.
Well, I'm not trying to say ego. It's that of course your ego is going to be affected,
right.
But it's not something that you should let your ego be affected by. This doesn't involve ego. It involves, a couple. So you don't want to let your pride. There it is. Don't let your pride. There's my struggle. The pride, your pride to basically take a beating. That's not the case. You're a team. So you want to as much, reap the benefits of having a family. You also are being in the male aspect, a protector of your spouse is a key thing. It wasn't until when I think really, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but it wasn't until when we got down here to Florida that we actually became serious about, okay, it's been 3 years. Still no sign of a kid, still no nothing. No warning, no whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's time that we start seeing a doctor, right?
Yeah.
That was basically just so it took 3 years that we wish we should have done, looking back on it now, sooner.
Yeah.
And what, as the female of the relationship, why do you think it was something that took that long?
I think because we were young, we didn't know any better. which we kind of talked about in the last episode, but we also then decided we were going to up and move states away from the Midwest to the South.
Mm-hmm.
And so, living up north, we had a house, and it needed some work. And so we were trying to prepare that to get it ready to try to sell it. And then, we went through all that stuff.
So life tasks.
Yeah, I think honestly, just life got in the way. And then we knew that, we were coming down here and you were going to be going to school.
Yeah.
And then there was so much unknown because I lived with you for a little bit out in New Jersey before we got married. But besides that, I had never lived away from my home state.
Yeah.
So then it was like, okay, not only are we moving to a state that is 15 hours away, but we're also moving to a state where we know absolutely nobody.
True.
Which terrified me.
Oh yeah, yeah, it did.
Because it was like
I'm looking at its new beginning. You're going on freaking out.
Yeah, because you're leaving all your family, you're leaving all your friends, you're leaving all of your everything that you know.
Yeah.
And it's like if something happens, you're on your own. Like
True.
It's not like I can just be like, Mom, I'm coming over.
Yeah,
blah,
exactly.
blah, blah. You don't have that. So then when you go from having all this support to then nothing, and it's just the two of you, like you have to lean on each other. And so I think it was just, I think that I pushed it off and delayed it and it wasn't my top priority because of all that we had going on in our life at that time.
Gotcha. We moved down here and then we start being adamant involving doctors. So in that doctor visit, it was my first time to do a donation. It was my first time to basically, it's awkward. It's totally awkward to literally know you set yourself for an appointment that you basically got to put sperm into a cup.
Mm-hmm.
And the super critical rules to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, you can either do it at home, but make sure you keep it in a paper bag. You make sure your hands are washed, all that stuff. Everything has to be clean. Everything's got to be clean down below. Put it in the cup. Get it in here by an X amount of time. Or you can do it in a office room in here. And I'm like, this is totally awkward.
I didn't know. I'm not the one that had to do it, and I felt awkward. So I can only imagine how you felt.
Like, no one likes doing that. I felt super, super awkward and maybe also a little gun shy too at the same time.
Yeah.
Because it's
Now I'm trying to remember. Did you do the office or did you home and you took it? Because this was an office that was close to us.
I did both. This was a two attempt. One was first at home, and then the second was at the office. I suggested to do the first one at home because I felt more comfortable.
Right.
than anything else.
Well, because I think you had to have you have to have it there within an hour after putting it into the cup. You have to obviously be
super
sterile with everything. Your hands have to be clean. You have to pre-wash
everything.
Everything.
And that was just awkward to me. And I think it was age of it. Looking back on it now, I'm going, oh, it's no big deal. That's okay. Sure, whatever else. Whatever. To help the cause, sure, it makes no difference.
Right.
But it just seemed, I think the awkwardness came into the point of how the doctor approached the scenario. And they were like, okay, so this is what we're going to get down to is the fact that we need a sample for you. And I'm like, sample? Sure. What do you need? Blood? This? Whatever.
Right.
And I want you, do you feel comfortable at home or here in the office? It wasn't registering for me.
Right.
And that was the hard part at first. And it was when you're only 3 years into a marriage, even though you've been with the person for so long, it hit a pride thing.
Yeah.
Because to me, I'm like, oh, okay, no problem here. And at the same time, like, that was the first time it felt more realistic for me of being, oh, I could be causing the issue.
Right. Yeah.
I could be the problem. And I mean, like, we went through a few doctor appointments with you, and then also being told that you lost a kid, but we didn't really get actual facts
there
of
wasn't,
it.
like,
But
pure confirmation on that.
But at that time, it felt, okay, now we're being real in my direction. And that's where that male pride thing kind of went down.
Right.
And it was hard. It was hard and difficult, no pun intended. It was hard. I guess of my age and of situation, and now trying to gather back of putting myself in that scenario again, I would definitely, of course, 100% do it because I want to know information. And I guess what I'm trying to say is it isn't a pride thing. Like I always said before, it's not a pride thing. You're doing it for, if you want to have kids and you're very adamant about having kids, it's not one person's fault. It's basically
you're a couple.
Yeah, it's basically it's not a fault. Fault's a bad word, but that's how it goes. That's how literally the first thing it happens. It's like when you hear that you can't become pregnant naturally, then you're like, well, there's nothing wrong with me. It could be this person because of this, or it could be this person because of that, or we weren't following everything, or I wasn't in the mood. You start coming up with excuses.
Yeah, as like a natural instinct, you start trying to pin it on somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, when technically you don't know. But then, like, you know, I guess I would say on like a scale of 1 to 10, when they said, you know, this is what we need you to do, I'm trying to word my question correctly here, but from 1 to 10, like, how gun ho were you on, all right, I want to do this because I want to prove that it's not me, or I want to do this because I want to see, like, what's going on causing us to not get pregnant?
For both of those?
Yeah.
That wasn't on my scale.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't on my scale. Either one of them were on my scale. It was more at a 2 because I never thought I would be in this predicament.
I mean, I felt the same way.
That was my biggest thing because, and it wasn't along the lines of I'm doing anything wrong or doing anything right. It's just more, as I said, it's a little bit of the ego, a little bit of the pride when you are told that, you know, your numbers could be affected. You start questioning more. Did I do something in my past to cause this?
Right.
Is it something that I inherited? Is it, and you know, am I wearing the wrong type of clothing? Am I taking too hot of showers? Because remember, those are all things that they said to us. But the weird thing about this, and this is the same doctor, if you recall, this is the same one that literally said, you both need to be on a bazillion types of vitamins. I was
10 vitamins for each of us.
We were under 30, 35 years of age. And I felt like I was a 70-year-old with taking, we literally had the Sunday through Saturday pill set.
We did.
We had that because we were so adamant of making sure we're taking, I think I had like 6 or 7 vitamins.
No, I think we each had like 10.
It was insane.
Yeah, it was so super insane. And I remember us doing that. And there were some that like both of us took, but then there were others that like only you took and then only I took. So we even had like an A and a B on the bottle so that we knew, okay, these were the ones for just me. These are the ones for just you. And then we had an A and a B on the bottles that we took together. There was, like, it was so
I thought
crazy.
Of something really funny. It's really funny is the fact that here we are, a young married couple. We're going to a destination, Florida, even just a Destination General, no one around, as you touch base on, it's brand new season and an adventure. And out of all places, we move to Florida, we get serious about having kids, and all of a sudden we move to a place that we're literally taking as senior citizens all these pills. It's like, welcome to Florida. You're still in your 30s, but we're going to treat you like you're retirees.
Yeah.
And I think that was more upsetting to me because that was more of a punch to my manhood, because it was, oh, you're bad, I'm bad. This is what needs to be done to raise levels. And the thing was, when I took the first donation sperm test and then the second after the vitamins, there was no change.
Yeah.
There was no change.
Right.
I didn't get.
Yeah.
But then the other thing is, didn't ask. We just accepted. We just moved on. So
yeah, we just went and spent the money on 10 different vitamins for each of us, and thought, okay, this is what's going to do it. We're going to get pregnant now.
Yeah.
And and so like one of the other questions I was going to ask you, so which I know you've done a few, but which option did you prefer after? Because I know you said the first time you did the donation at home, then you did the second one at the office.
Yeah.
I guess, like, I didn't even remember that office asked you, because I got so fed up with them and we ended up not going back to them.
Well, we got fed up because it wasn't working.
Right.
It wasn't working.
Well, because they literally said, here's all these vitamins, we'll see you in a year.
Right. Well, we'll get to that. Go ahead, ask your question.
But my question was, as a man and with having to do a donation, which way, I guess I would say, was a little more comfortable?
Oh, at home.
At home?
Oh, yeah. What? All right. First off,
I never saw the rooms that you went into.
First off, it's a regular. There's nothing fancy about the rooms. It's a regular patient room.
Okay.
Just like examination and stuff. But the thing that's crazy is the nurse goes and says, this top drawer has magazines and stuff.
Oh, okay.
That's it. That's the only difference. So it made me like, they set aside that room for, of course, males having that donation. Because if it was a regular examination room and, you're getting a checkup or something and you pull up the wrong drawer and there's magazines, that brings something funny.
So here would be my thing with that then. Like, I don't know, maybe I'm getting too deep into this.
No, that's fine.
Like,
you're a woman, you need to know.
Right. Well, it's not that I need to know. It helps the men that may listen to this.
Yeah.
But I guess my next question would be, like, in an office, and then they have magazines that are
pornography. Oh, yeah.
Like,
she's making
the sticky finger.
Amanda's rubbing her fingers together, like, do they clean the material? Is it laminated?
Do they make you wear gloves?
No.
Too? So then, to me, like, how clean is stuff?
Out of all the places that I've had a donation to do in the hospital, in multiple hospitals, not one of them asked me to use a glove.
Okay.
They told me where something was for additional resources to use to help stimulate. Never said anything about, there wasn't anything involving, these magazines have been sterilized, these magazines have been cleaned, nothing like that.
Yeah, that's, like, to me, that's just really bizarre, because, like, you're touching down there, which should be clean when they're wanting you to do that. Like, they probably have you clean it prior to.
Everything like normal.
But still, like, if somebody was holding a magazine to help with the moment.
This thought never came to me at that time. That's the thing.
See, that's where I guess a woman's head goes, because I'm like, ooh.
I'm getting a little grossed out about that now.
Touch the drawer, even open the drawer or touch anything in there.
I never think about it now.
I guess my mind as a woman goes, because that, I mean, not saying that stuff, like, gross, like, I guess it does gross me out. But
it's, as a man, it's kind of grossing me out, too, how many hands have touched.
And it's because knowing the other people, like, knowing, like us as a couple, like, that doesn't gross me, but, like, knowing that, okay, I was in this room and others have opened this drawer, hopefully they wash the outside of the drawer after each patient, but then, like, you have these magazines.
Well,
And so then that's where I'm like,
it's going on 10 years now that this has finally crossed my mind and didn't do before.
And
so
it took me to bring it up.
Yeah, exactly. No, it was just awkward to me to be in a room that was basically a room that you get a checkup, or like there was nothing special about it. There wasn't like,
no
mirrors on the wall, no music, no,
outside. So you hear like people walking by the room and talking outside.
Yeah,
so that would be super awkward.
I mean, at the same time,
that feeling of I'm gonna get caught doing this.
Yeah, it was different because there was never a glorious imagination that I'm going into this room and it's playing like 1970s porno music and stuff, and there's lights and black lights and all this, nothing like that. It was literally, I was in a room just like this where I had my blood drawn, and so like literally those chairs and everything is exactly the same. There's no different about it. And then it's just this drawer. I think one of my 2 visits, not this one, but maybe later on, they literally said to me, "We also have videos. So you have to, would you like to use the remote to find the exact channels, or would you prefer still the products in the drawer? So basically the magazines." And I'm like, a doctor's office has porn, like a porn channel, like a Playboy channel or something like that. I'm like, that was awkward to me. I'm like, nah, I'm good. But then at the same time, as you brought up, I'm like, I never put 2 and 2 together. Because like at first you open the drawer, you kind of see what's there and stuff, but like I never experienced pages stuck together. I never experienced that kind of. So I mean that was a plus side, but at the same time I'm like looking back on it, how many hands or how many people, because there could have been a time or two that someone accidentally touched the wrong page or whatever else, or grabbed the magazine, and now that's a little gross. But the whole situation was awkward. And it wasn't just awkward in the doctor's office. It was at home, too, because you were on such a stress and high level that you need to be sterile and clean, then do your duty, then quickly put it in a paper bag and get it to the doctor's office in 45 minutes to an hour, tops.
Right.
There's your deadline. And you're like, oh my gosh. So in what way can you be in a mood in general? Right. And number 2, to have that pressure to get it done, it was just a lot.
Right.
Especially for my age then and so on and so forth. It just seemed like a lot. But I knew doing it was to better the situation.
Right.
I still did get hit in the gut about maybe it's me, which is normal. It's normal. It's nothing to be completely upset or down about. It's the cards that we're dealt with. Sometimes you want to think that both man and wife are perfectly fine, and you hate for a scenario to come up to cause a rift. But at the same time, it's not a swallow your pride thing. It's something that you're doing to make something better.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing. And, at that young age, I knew that was my mindset going in. But the awkwardness was to the moon. It was totally like that. So you touched base about we were talking about the vitamins too.
Yeah.
We'll kind of go back into the female side of this thing. So in the notes, it basically says that it never checked on you or never checked out. What do you recall for the vitamins? Because you were touching base on that a little bit involving.
I'm trying to remember because like this, and I don't like to talk bad about doctors or anything like that.
Yeah.
But this one was just seemed. And that's why we're not going to mention who it was, where they went, anything like that. But
we only mentioned good stuff, good doctors and good stuff.
It just felt like a quack doctor. Like maybe like they were just there just to like get money, because I don't remember really doing any testing except for maybe some blood work. I know that they had you do.
They didn't do any exams. They didn't do
any exams on me, and then that's when they were just like, "Oh, here, you guys." you need these vitamins, she needs these vitamins, come back in a year and see us.
They did blood. They did blood to see what our levels were.
That's the only thing that they did on me was only blood. But it
was me too.
Right. But now I'm just saying, like, looking back on that as a woman, like, how can you as a fertility doctor only draw blood and get answers?
Yeah.
Like, again, we should have been like, whoa, wait, like, isn't there more testing that could have been done?
But that's what we were like, okay, this is what we need to do.
You're this specialist.
We were gung-ho, like, oh, this is it? Vitamins? Okay, that's all we need.
Yeah,
let's get it done.
You think this specialist, this is what he's telling you, and that things are going to be fine. Like, okay, I just need to go home and take these vitamins. I can do that. That's simple.
Yeah.
Then it was like 6 months to a year, and then like nothing was changing, and we still weren't able to get pregnant. And so we were like, I think we need a second opinion. Like, as we just really started thinking about things.
But I mean, did they ever contact us again, or?
No, we decided not to go back just because we were like, this just doesn't, like, as we kept, like, we were gung-ho at the beginning, and we were like, all right, we're going to take these vitamins, we're going to do this every day. And after, like I said, about 6 months to a year went by and we really started talking about it, we were just like, this just doesn't seem right. So then that's when we decided we were going to go get a second opinion, and we went to USF. And that was another fertility. So that would be our second fertility specialist.
That's correct. Which gave us more of a breakdown.
They did, yeah.
More so than the previous doctor.
Yeah. They actually did testing on me.
What do you mean testing?
Like, they checked my tubes to make sure they were open, which they said that they were open. Mm-hmm. They did blood work. I believe you did another sample donation.
I did not. I had to show up there for that. That was...
Yeah, because that's about an hour drive.
That was an hour drive, so that had to be done there.
But then, again, like, we had this older guy, and, like, that doctor, too, like, even there, he
went right to the bad news.
He did. Like,
right to the bad news.
He didn't even say, oh, we could do this or do this.
Well, back up. He gave us, after the results of doing a sperm donation and checking your tubes, mm-hmm. He literally did, which I thought was great, and I know a lot of doctors do this, and it happens. He did a breakdown.
Yeah.
He said, typically this woman from this age to this age would have this amount of eggs.
Yeah,
this male would have this amount of sperm count from this age to this age, and do a complete breakdown. We didn't get that before.
Right.
We never got that until that very moment. So then we had no idea.
Yeah, we did get that because, so a woman, and this is just some insight for women out there, when you are born with the max amount of follicles, which is what creates the eggs. You were born with that and with the most amount. Yeah. And as the years go on and you start your period and all that stuff happens, they diminish over the years.
Correct.
So he went through, and like what they do is they can see how many follicles you have, and that's when they can say, oh, you have, this is, you can have what they call diminishing ovarian reserve, which is what you have for follicles. And so then that's how they can like diagnose you with different things. Mm-hmm. But so yeah, he went down, he did the whole like egg thing with us and showed us like how it diminishes over the years. And then he also did like the sperm count and all that stuff. Which
was a plus. And we never got that prior to. But then instead of what I remember, it went after that display, he was like straight up, like no gently letting us down.
No, he laughed.
Did laugh. I do recall. Yeah, he did laugh.
Like he literally was like, we're sitting at his desk in his office, and he's on one side, and you and I are on the other side. And he goes through this whole count thing, and I'm like, okay, maybe there's hope. Like he's going to give us some good news, and then he just laughed and said, "You can't have kids without like doing fertility."
Right to it.
Just the way that he laughed, I got in my mind, because I'm so independent, that I was like, F you.
Yeah.
I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
And like,
come out back to the wall, start swinging.
Yeah. And like that right there, just really, really, as a woman, as a couple, like was super, super upsetting, because it was like, you literally just laughed in our face and said that like, we would never be able to do this on our own. So then me, as who I am, was like, well, I'm going to prove you wrong because that's who I am, you know? And so then, and then we had like a meeting because he said that like we would have to do IVF. We couldn't
immediately.
do IUIs. We couldn't do anything else. It was IVF only.
Of course.
And he said, so then we like go and we have to meet with like this financial person who was like, oh yeah, it's only like $30,000, and we're like,
at the time,
$30,000, yeah. Which, and again, we were young. We had just moved to Florida like a year or so before this, and so you're in school, we're working, plus you're in school, like you're doing double duty.
But
it was more of like,
the thing is, they checked follicles and the tube. And they checked sperm count.
Yeah.
And immediately went and said, okay, you got to go right to IVF without checking anything else.
Yeah.
Or doing anything else. It was like how I remember feeling we were part of a quota.
Right.
Than actually wanting to be helped.
Like a teacher who only checks like half of the paper and says, automatic F.
Yeah, it's like, I heard the markers going down completely. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, first off, yeah, it was disheartening to hear a doctor, a physician, a specialist, anyone laugh at you.
Mm-hmm.
So, that went right to the heart. But then the other part was that looking back on it, not once did he suggest to do any other next step evaluations. Mm-hmm. It was literally, it's going to cost you $30,000.
Yep.
Like, whoa.
Yeah. Whoa. And then they, sit there and they go through it like to where they tell you, oh, you can sign up. Like there was like a loan option thing, right? That you could apply for. And then it helps you with the payments and stuff, But then once you get approved for that and all that stuff, you get and this is just also kind of like, I guess, disheartening. Like, because each round, it wasn't just like
the whole time
covered so much. It was per round.
Per round. Per round
of IVF, and so that's like $30,000. So say that you end up going through 3 rounds, that's $90,000. And so if you end up not having a live birth, so if you go through your whole round of IVF and at the end of it you don't get pregnant, they give you 70% of your money back. So now you still owe that loan company 30% of that $30,000. So then you have to pay them, make sure that you're paying that 30%. So then you're like, okay, now on to round 2 because round 1 didn't work and I really want to have a baby. So then you're right back at it. Okay, another $30,000. And then, okay, well, I'm sorry, you didn't get a live birth. Here's 30 or 70% of your money back. But you still owe us 30%. So it's like
the thought of that
can really just like
it's
put a young couple into serious debt.
Not just that, just also the mentality, the emotional aspect of it. To go and say, all I thought I had to do was just like everyone else, have sex.
Yeah.
Now I gotta pay to have a kid and go into debt.
Yeah. Yeah. And they act like the $30,000 is nothing. Like when they sit there and they talk to you about it and they're like, oh, it's only $30,000. It's just like, huh? And I don't think that included your medication that the woman has to take.
I wouldn't be surprised. At that time, I can't
those details I don't remember, but I don't think that included your.
Overall, as a young couple, it was it was a bummer. Mm-hmm. It was a letdown.
Eye-opening. As to things that people could go through.
I felt defeated.
Yeah.
I felt that, at that time, even with that laugh of like, okay, guns out, literally against the wall, come out swinging, mm-hmm. kind of felt defeating because I remember the car ride home. We weren't crying or anything, but it was just more, for the first time ever, it was a serious talk, not blaming or anything, but a serious talk, 45-minute drive. It was the realization of, are we capable?
Right.
Financially
Financially,
Not
mentally.
financially was the first part, because all we could
Right.
think about was the money. At a young age, that's all we could think about was money. We were just bummed out that was like, okay, there's no way to have a kid. There's no way to have a kid, and it was a letdown.
It was.
It was I think it lasted for a couple days and whatever else. It like the whole thing proving wrong didn't happen until later on. But at the same
Right.
time, it was just such a letdown. And if there's anyone out there that has experienced that, we are truly sorry.
Yeah, because it is like you go. It's kind of like almost like gut wrenching too, because you go in and you're thinking, okay, we're going to get answers. This is all going to work out so that we can get pregnant and we can do this and we can do that and things are going to be great. We're, yeah, we may have to go through this, but then when they say, okay, let's go talk to financials, and you're like, okay, and then you go and then they start going through all this back then. Like, I mean, granted, yeah, that was like 10 to 12 years ago, but $30,000 to a young couple, like we were in our, like we just turned 30 or maybe like 32-ish, like at the most. And so to us, it was like, oh,
we're still starting our career. We're still going to school. We were still doing stuff. We weren't even at that point.
Yeah. So then that was just heart wrenching, and it was hard because then it was like, okay, now us being parents and wanting to have this big family that we both have always dreamed of has come down to $30,000 per round.
And I mean, we
not knowing like, would it work on round one? Would it not?
I think also it was a letdown for us because we went from one doctor that basically said that we just by blood test only, that we don't have to, we just need vitamins. Yeah. So then a second one that gave us the actual numbers, unlike before, and laughed in our face and said, hey, it's going to cost you this flat rate.
Yeah.
Or this rate here. And to literally have a scheduled payment option, and it didn't feel like we, not only did we feel like we were ready to be parents, it didn't feel satisfying in any aspect whatsoever.
Right.
It took the mood out of, I don't recall having any intimacy for a bit. I don't recall like anything. It just took the mood out.
Right. Well, and I remember us just like, I mean, after talking about it and stuff, we were like, well, if we're meant to have kids, we'll just keep trying naturally. Like we were like, I don't want to pay. And like my big thing was, we were like, we didn't want to pay $30,000 for, I don't even remember now, like what they said our chances were of even having a live birth. But like, we were just like, no, like that's not what we want to do, because we knew that it was going to take the enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
And so we were like, no, we'll just keep doing what we're doing and hope that it happens one day.
Yeah. I as we close on this episode here, and a lot of these episodes are really, serious talk, and at times the tone level is down.
Right.
But it's positive, because the big thing is if anyone is in that situation, this situation, whatever, there's multiple options. Now, again, this was 10, 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. Things have definitely changed.
Right.
But at the same time, there are individuals that are in the same boat as what we were.
Right.
And that figure, whatever the case may be, for IVF or being told to take tons of vitamins and stuff, these are warning signs that, yeah, you shouldn't have a doctor laugh at you. And, as I said, we love USF. I don't know if that doctor's still there anymore. I don't know, but that's not the point. We're not trying to hate on companies, hospitals, medical institutions, nothing like that. It's more about the fact that I know how I felt. Amanda knows how she felt. And we know that there's people out there, couples out there that are struggling. And I think the biggest takeaway from this episode is that no matter what state you're in, you're going to have those challenges. You're going to have challenges throughout your married life. And they don't express to you how severe or how overwhelming, I should say, not severe, overwhelming the challenge of becoming parents, first-time parents is.
Mm-hmm.
And that you need to not only do the research, but you need to have the faith. You have to have the companionship. You can't do it alone, a couple of two, but you really have to seek out all your options. And being put in a place where either you're laughed at or you're going to be receiving a Hail Mary of a possibility, then there's more. There's more out there.
Right.
There's more out there. There was probably more out there then.
Mm-hmm.
I know there's more out there now.
Right.
But it's
just don't give up that hope and research and and that's why those groups are so important as well.
Yeah.
Because other people may say, "Oh, I was told the same thing," and which we didn't do back then. We just said, "Well, we ain't doing this. So if we're meant to do this, then we are going to that we're just going to keep trying the natural way, and if it happens, it happens." Like that was our decision, and it's not that has to be everybody's decision, but know that there's different groups and different things out there that maybe you can, there's so many more resources and things out there now, and that was something that, like, I don't know that I would say that I regretted, but not looking further into, what other options do we have if we can't pay this up front, but that was just where our heart was, because we were just completely heartbroken by it.
Yeah. It was definitely a moment in our relationship for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So as we end, first and foremost, we thank you for taking the time to listen to this podcast, this episode. Don't hesitate to ever reach out for any form of motivation.
Exactly.
Reach out for any needed support, questions. We can do our best to answer them. But can you give us a preview for our episode coming up?
The next episode coming up, we kind of decide to take a break and just lean on someone more powerful. So I think we might name that one "Sundays Are Taken."
Sundays Are Taken. That's a little peel the curtain away.
A little peel the curtain there.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're excited to do the next one, and that'll be episode 4.
Yes, and the biggest thing is, be strong as a couple. Don't handle it alone, and continue to do the research and reach out. Reach out, because there's an army out there. There's an army. You just have to. Unfortunately, you can find it. You have to do the work to find it. But they're there to help out in any way possible.
Absolutely. As we wrap up today's episode of Pray, Love, Family, we just want to remind you, wherever you are on this journey, you're not walking it alone.
Whether you're navigating infertility, IVF,
endometriosis, or the road to adoption,
there's strength in leaning on your faith,
your partner, and your community.
If you're feeling isolated or overwhelmed, we encourage you to seek out a small group.
Whether it's at your church, in your neighborhood, or online. There's something powerful about sharing your story and hearing others say, "Me too."
Healing and hope
often grow best in community.
And as a couple, never forget, you are a team. This journey isn't about blaming or fixing everything overnight.
It's about growing together, dreaming together, and trusting together.
Set relationship goals that build connection, not perfection.
Celebrate the little victories, pray through the tough days, and always come back to love.
Because in the end, family isn't just something you have, it's something you fight for.
Believe in and build hand in hand. We're so grateful you joined us today. Until next time, keep praying, keep loving, and keep building your family your way.